This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
This Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop Convention and Ranger Stop and Pop. Have you ever wanted to see all your favorite Power Rangers together in one epic convention? Go to Ranger Stop! Ranger Stop and Pop! August 27th to the 29th, 2021! Atlanta, Georgia! Ranger Stop 8! November 11th to the 14th! Orlando, Florida! Get your tickets now! Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Do you want to know who I am? Do you really want to know? My story is not for the faint of heart. With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift. This is my curse. Who am I? I'm Saber. Hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome to Kamen Rider Saber in our reviews in Rider Time podcast. I know this is not our usual time slot. I apologize for that. Some stuff seriously came up, and I wanted to make sure that we actually do have a show this week. And what a show it has been this week. Have you seen the new episode? Oh my God, we are reaching the final countdown. But seriously though, welcome to Rider Time Podcast. I am Time Rider Zero, and today we'll be covering Kamen Rider Saber, episode 45, 10 Swordsmen Betting on the World. So in the comments, YouTube, Facebook, please feel free to write down what you thought of the episode and what you think is going to happen next. Because man, oh man, this has been such an intense episode. In fact, it was so intense, I felt very emotional about it. Anywho, so shall we get started? Okay, so the episode starts off where we left off, where the 9 riders and Sophia were doing the march from Hot Rod to Storius's base. And of course, Sophia says, "Did you think you're gonna do this without me? Of course I'm gonna help you guys out." So she becomes Caliber, which I got some things to say, but I'm not gonna. But you know there are things that need to be said about this. Anywho, but yes, we do get all 10 riders doing a henshin together, and it looked glorious. And of course, they all start storming in, and taking the lead. We got Yuri and Sophia using the powers of light and darkness to clear out all of the enemies, the lower ranking foot soldiers. It's like my favorite line from X-Men 3 Last Stand, where Magneto says, "Don't you know how to fight? You send in the pawns first." So of course they take out all the pawns, and you got a beautiful tracking shot of all the riders working together. And I love how there was a quick reflection of Toma and Rintaro against Espada's sword. It is such a great transition shot. Meanwhile, we got Storius waiting for them to show up. And while he's there, we see Legiel and Zuo show up, and they start questioning his motives. So it's kind of interesting. You don't know quite for sure if they're just visions or did he legitimately bring them back, because keeping in mind the 4 elders of the Sword of Logos were basically destroyed and then brought back to be Stories' guards. So we don't know if they were brought back. So right away, we don't know if they were brought back as minions or if they're just visions. Because if they fully babyface turn like they did in their respective episodes 27 and 32, why would they want to help Stories after all this time? Moving onward, they encountered the first of the four elders, and Ren and Tetsuo volunteer to take on the first guard, while the rest of the swordsmen rush in past them. Of course, as the three Magids start interacting, they keep questioning Storius. Well, wasn't the whole point of our past to try to prevent poverty and famine? Well, what has happened to Storius? And of course, he reveals that he was evil all along. Like that was his original self. He was never corrupted. He was just evil for the sake of being evil, even more so than Isaac. But of course, he rejects the two of them, recognizing that the two of them were just visions created by not Sophia, by Luna, who, let's be honest, the two of them are practically the same character at this point. But going back to it, so they start interacting. Meanwhile, Sophia herself is starting to feel weak during their fight. But then we see some familiar bubbles, and she's visited by the ghosts of Christmas Caliber. I'm just kidding. It's Kento's dad and Daichi, the previous two Calibers, not counting Kento. So the last two that died. So there we go. And of course, they lend her their strength, so now she's able to fight again. And of course, for some reason, Yuri's like, this must be Victor's work. Thanks, Victor, wherever you may be. And I'm thinking, did you not forget that he died? I wonder how that. I mean, they just brought him up from out of nowhere, so I'm trying to understand the correlation between the two, aside from the bubbles. I mean, if Victor does come back, that'd be great, but what a crazy revelation it was a couple of episodes ago that Victor was indeed Caliber at one point. So Yuri, he switches back to his light and dark forms, where as a sentient sword, he takes on a group of enemies by himself, while his shadow form does some wrestling. And boy, that was a beautiful neck lock. May, being unable to do anything, all she can do is wait for everyone at the bookstore. But then she starts feeling her body fading away. And then she notices that there was a manuscript on Toma's desk. Later on, the second of the elders show up. So of course, Rintaro and Ogami decide to be the next ones to stay behind, to hold them off in order for the rest to move forward. So this is like total Shonen Jump type stuff, where members of the team slowly get separated from one another in order to divert everyone else. I swear to God, there's one anime that did this. I loved it for it. It's kind of like Yu Yu Hakusho in May's Castle, but not quite the same. So that's a little bit of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of May's Castle from Yu Yu Hakusho. And of course, in their discussion, Stories tells Luna that this is all her fault, that she chose Toma to be the new keeper of Wonderworld, and he tried to save him. She tried to save him from the event from 15 years ago, and as a result, now Toma must die in order for Stories' story to come to an end. So we got the third guardian, and now the stupid sexy Shindais are the next ones to stay behind in order for Toma and Kento to move on forward. At first, it was kind of weird for me. Why is Kento the one who's moving on with Toma and not Rintaro? But again, let's not forget the fact that they were best friends when they were kids. This is their story. They have to be the ones to finish it. It's like having Harry try to save Hermione with the help of um, with the help of not Ron Weasley. While Ron Weasley is way over there hanging out with Neville Longbottom. So actually I can justify that Kento is right to be the last person remaining with Toma moving forward. So of course he Storius asks Luna, oh, why is she putting so much stock into Toma? And she says that you're a pitiful man, just so you know, because I know everything, and yet Toma is able to come up with stories that I never even heard of. He will defeat you, and you will be nothing. And of course, he gets so mad at this, and then he just exiles her, causing her to return to her body in underneath their tree from when they were kids. So apparently, she pulled a Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. Except, she didn't die, so at least it's a little less cringy that way. So, unfortunately, all three teams of riders were overpowered, and they are nearly defeated by the first three Guardians. However, Yuri and Sophia managed to finally defeat all the foot soldiers outside. So she says her final goodbyes with the two previous calibers. And honestly, it was a touching scene. It's a shame that it only lasted about 2 seconds, but it was still touching nonetheless. But as Yuri rushes forward in order to help the other riders, we do see Sophia slowly start to fade away. So she's probably at her final leg of the story. However, Toma and Kento are... Hold on. Where's that one other slide? Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Give me a second. I need to go back. Oh yeah. So they did. Okay, I skipped ahead by accident. Don't worry about it. So yeah. So Toma and Kento did have to fight the fourth of the four elders in order to reach Storius. So moving forward, we get an awesome team up between Ren and Tetsuo, where they basically pull a Naruto and Sasuke versus Zabuza, where Ren he uses his sword shuriken form to throw it at the enemy, and then beautifully Tetsuo fires a bullet from his sword that hits the trigger on the the trigger on the shuriken, while the Three Little Pigs, a Wonder Ride book, is attached to it, causing it to triplicate into 3 shuriken. And of course, this does a lot to disarm the first of the 4 elders. However, unfortunately, this also causes Tetsuo to become severely injured in the process. But he's happy because he was able to get his job done. Then it's up to Ren to finish him off by using the Falchion sword, and as he uses it, he scans disaster. What's it called? The Magic book that causes a spirit construct of story. Sorry, not stories. Disaster to show up to a system. So they pull off a Spider-Man 3 where the enemy is surrounded by a bunch of impalable objects, and the main characters go circling around, causing injuries to him over time using the multiple blades. I cannot stress this enough. For all the times I kept making fun of how Disaster is basically Venom, it's so appropriate that Ren's finishing move is essentially Tobey Maguire's finishing move from Spider-Man 3. And of course, then they've used their finishing. Then Ren and Disaster used their finishing moves on 2 separate sides, in order, thus defeating the first of the 4 elders. However, unfortunately, this also means that this is the end for Disaster book, because It's now fully disintegrated. But thankfully, Ren finally got his moment. He got his NCIS Chris O'Donnell moment. No more whining Joel Schumacher Chris O'Donnell. This is a new Ren. Here we go. Yes, we got this. So moving forward, Tetsuo tells Ren to move on ahead while he takes a quick break. But you know what that means. He is not able to continue further. And so with Ren off to help the other riders, Tetsuo collapses with his sword in his hand. And of course his final words was, "Suzune, your voice is so beautiful." Moving onward, unfortunately, Luna starts collapsing as well. She slowly starts fading out. Then you got Ogami and Rentaro teaming up using one giant sword and one hell of a blizzard in order to defeat the second of the elders. However, and while this is happening, we do see Mei reading Toma's manuscript. So he finally finished writing the sequel to the book that he was supposed to be writing. And she just finished reading it. And a single tear drops out of her eye as she reads the final page. And so she starts running off. Next we got Ren showing up to help Kento and Toma. And of course, Kento and Ren team up in order to hold off the fourth elder, while Toma is now free to press forward to fight Storius. And of course, we got a best friends moment because keep in mind, Kento was always Ren's senpai, so now they're fighting on equal terms, and that is lovely. And of course, we got Mei finding Luna passed out under the tree. And so she goes to help her out while Toma rushes after Storius as the final villain waits for the hero to show up. And that is the plot summary of Kamen Rider Saber episode 45, 10 Swordsmen Betting on the World. So again, YouTube, Facebook, in the comments, let us know what you thought of the episode. What are your likes, dislikes? What score would you give it out of 10? This was a phenomenal episode. And even though there's 4 episodes left, it's still, like, story-wise, this is clearly an anti-penultimate episode. So, and as far as anti-penultimate episodes go, it's pretty well done. The pacing is good. It balances all of the heroes, because one issue I usually have with having a lot of writers in one season is not giving enough focus to any individual writer. But here we got everyone getting a good amount of focus in the episode and in the story, and they were all able to showcase some of their best moves. And I was surprised that Sophia was able to pull off a Princess Sheila from that episode of Power Rangers when Toxica snuck into Turtle Cove Island, and Amerium, that's what it's called. And oh my god, and I can't wait to see Toma fight off Stories. And pacing wise, we all know what's going to happen next. Toma's going to reach Stories, the fight's going to begin, we're going to have the episode's going to end on a cliffhanger where it looks like the heroes are defeated. And then episode 47, we're going to have a final battle. And then episode 48 is going to be an epilogue episode. Let's be honest. But as far as this episode's concerned, I like it. I really like it. I have almost nothing to complain about it. There was almost nothing bad to say about the episode. And it really hits its mark. Mwah. But hopefully the Shinais will be able to contribute more, because we didn't see them on screen as much as I would like to, but whatever. But yeah, that was the episode. So what'd you guys think? Let's go to the comments and find out. It's comment time! First things first, I want to see if Mr. Fox Mr. Fox has a few words to say about the episode while reviewing it asynchronously. So let's check what he has to say. Okay, here we go. Okay, so he sent a video. So okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna do a screen share. Hopefully, you guys can hear. Screen share. Share audio. Chrome tab. Facebook. Okay, here we go. Let's see what Mr. Fox has to say.
All right, what's good, Right Time Podcast? All right, I'm just gonna say this right now. Whatever Mike says, it don't matter because I give this episode 10 out of 10. Everything that happened was amazing. The fight, the 10-man and woman, 10-person henshin that legit toys like, oh, we have too many voices. We don't care. Blade, Dragon, Lion, Senki, Gingo, like all that. That was smoke. That was amazing. And I'm just gonna say this right now. Ren and Tetsuo's finisher was freaking nuts. Okay? It was nuts. And then Ren did the freaking Psycho Crusher and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say this right now. We need a disaster spinoff. We need a disaster origin spinoff. I'm just gonna say this right now. And well, perfect 10. And I'm gonna leave it with this, guys, before I give it back to Mike. If Ogami dies, we riot. I'm gonna say this one more time, Writer Time Podcast. If Ogami dies, we riot. And that's my review. Take it away, Mike.
Yep, I agree with him. I give it a 10 out of 10. And if Ogami dies, we will riot. If Tetsuo dies, I will riot. I love Tetsuo too much. Okay. Now for real though, on to the comments. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Water and earth. Okay, so it's interesting how wind and sound both are air vibrations. Fire and lightning are both based on heat. Time and smoke, basically time and space, which is something I've been saying from Jump Street ever since Durandal showed up. I've been saying this. And of course, earth and water, it's the Book of Job because, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. What if they made a light and sound spin-off of Pokemon? Interesting. Okay. Parathamesh says, hi guys, hope you're all doing great and fine. Yeah, we're doing well. Let's see. L'Oreal says this episode was intense. Would you think there will be a Masked Rider Saber team up with Masked Rider? Which Masked Rider? Because if it's Saban's Masked Rider, I very much doubt it. And now the final countdown's playing in my head. It was in my head as well, but I was trying not to make that reference because I wanted to focus on the Spider-Man reference. Dino Fury new episodes will be on September. Yes, hopefully they will. Yes, May was robbed. Yuri and Sophia were terrific with their swords. Yes, they were. I'm surprised that Sophia knew how to use the sword. I was hoping that somehow she will bring Victor back at least, and he would become Caliber, because he was clearly the original Caliber. I have never been to India, but I would like to, because I like curry and elephants and studying about Siddhartha. Another I'm evil because I'm evil. Yes. I love that Luna used her powers to make Zuos and Legiel appear. Yeah, I agree with that. It would have been interesting if they really did come back to fight him, and then he tried to kill him again because he's evil. Let's see. Now, since they are no longer Caliber, they are Excaliburs. Yes, that old joke from episode 9. Maybe Victor's spirit isn't completely gone. Who knows? If there will be a new superhero Senki movie in the future, I would say my predicted Sentai team would be Shinken Yellow, Mega Blue, Deca Pink, Kirame Yellow. Yeah, but don't forget, too much yellow energy can be dangerous. Just saying. From last week, Ryoga is okay, but Toma's way okay. No. Okay. Let's see. Bill did this type of several fights while climbing a tower thing. Yeah, I'm predicting Slash and Ogami die, but not sure about who the stupid sexy Shindais will die. You know, it will be the brother, right? It's definitely going to be the brother, and she's probably going to have to use both swords if they die. If they die, I doubt it though. I'd rather it be them than Ogami and Tetsuo. Kind of like how unless you do a go onger thing where the writers are Thanos snapped to one by one. So you got green and black disappearing, then you got gold and silver disappearing, and then you only have the main three go ongers left. Like if that's what they were gonna do, I'd be okay with it if they bring them back just like they did in Go Onger, but who knows? Honestly, like my issue with Ogami being permadead, well, at least the idea of him being permadead, what really hurts about it is because of his backstory in the manga. And I'm too attached to him. Don't Game of Thrones these characters. Okay. I can't believe that Ren got the best fight scene in Saber. Yes, he got the best fight scene in the episode. They went full Spider-Man 3 with that one. You take back what you said about Ren. Okay, Rip Disaster. Ren grew this day. Yes, like I said, he's no longer what's his name? Joel Schumacher, Chris O'Donnell. He's NCIS Chris O'Donnell. Maybe Thomas Manuscript can be his new Wonder Book. Oh, could be. Actually, that would be interesting. Everyone got a moment. It was awesome. I was so read how Ren helped Toma. Never thought I'd say it, but I don't hate Ren anymore. At least babyface turns have improved in the last few episodes of the season. Let's see. Okay, 9.5 out of 10. A 6+. Let's see. I love the animation for the attacks for the swords. Ren and Tetsuo's finisher was my favorite. It was my favorite as well. Have you watched Pokemon Journeys? What do you think about the new character Go? Honestly, I've only seen a few episodes, and honestly, I really don't like Go because while he's efficient in catching Pokemon, he doesn't give him the love that Ash does, and I think it's going to bite him in the butt at some point. Stay safe, take care of yourself and your family. Yes, everyone should definitely do that. Would you think Go Riders will make an appearance in the Zenkaiger in a special episode? I don't know, but it'd be interesting to bring them back. The Go Riders were pretty fun, but we all know which one was the true heel. Like I said, they died, then build ending again. Yeah, okay. So that's it for the comments. Thank you all for watching the review. And next week, we're going to cover episode 46. Don't forget that we did have a recent interview with Claire Blackwelder from Power Rangers Dino Charge. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. Also, Facebook, we recently interviewed Christina Ho from Beast Morphers. So that puts our Beast Morphers cast count to 7 face actors. And of course, be sure to check out my interview with Jackie Zaslowski on YouTube from the Simi Valley Twine Comic Fest. And of course, if you like Writer Time Podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Morphin Network on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also we have other shows like Sentai Hero Special, where Red Star and Quasar Red review Zenkaiger, Power Rangers Live, where we review Power Rangers Dino Fury when it comes back, and of course Ranger Comic Time with Jen Pink, where she reviews the Boom Studio comics. So we have a lot of content on this channel, so be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. And of course, if you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at chrono_just_cosplay, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. And of course, my partner who isn't available, you can find him on Instagram and YouTube at @thereckless_fox, and you could find him on Twitch at twitch.tv/reckless_fox. With all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope many new things come soon. So see y'all next time.
今回は Riders Reborn 変身
There have been several instances where the mantle of riders have passed on to a new generation.
Sky Rider was the hero of the show's reboot in 1979, where his power was fully awakened by the help of the Magnificent Seven Riders.
After an 11-year hiatus, the show was renewed into a new generation, starting with Kamen Rider Kuga in January 30th, 2000.
Kamen Rider the First and sequel Kamen Rider the Next were a 2005 cinematic remake of the original Kamen Rider, while Kamen Rider Amazons is a 2016 biopunk remake of Kamen Rider Amazon that lasted 2 seasons.
Kamen Rider Decade reset the Kamen Rider timeline in 2009, while Geo renewed it again in 2019.
See you all next time.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stop Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.